Hey guys, Seth again. Welcome to Opportunity Knocking. This is episode number 4. See, doesn't take me long to learn how to press a button with timing involved. So no delay. We're good to go. Also, if you're joining in live when this is getting premiered, it is 2023 Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas to all of you out there watching. And if you're watching it after it premiered, then it's not Merry Christmas for you. So, but good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Thanks for stopping by. This is Opportunity Knocking. And my name is Seth Timmerman. And last week we were talking about kind of finding you in your investment journey and in your real estate journey. Super important to kind of decide, starting just getting started, which avenue you're going to take because there's just so many different ways to get into real estate. Um, so deciding what niche is. The next step when you're getting started is finding a deal. And honestly, it doesn't matter what niche you're in. If you don't have a deal, then you're not really investing, right? At some point, you're going to have to pull the trigger and find something, whether it's to put it under contract and wholesale it, or whether it's to buy it and hold it for the next 50 years. Um, you're going to have to find that property. You're going to have to find that deal. Um, so as a wholesaler, you become more called a lead generator, right? That's your job is to generate leads. But as an investor as a whole, you should be a lead generator as well. It's important that you look at as many leads and as many potential deals as possible. It's important that you're always keeping your funnel full with the next possible deal, whether that's your first possible deal or your 100th possible deal. Even if you find your first deal, and then you go through the entire process of a fix and flip, and it takes you 90 days to renovate, 30 days to close, another 60 days for your buyer to close. And so you're 6 months in. If you stop looking for deals, then you're back to square one after that's sold. You got money in your pocket, you're ready to go, right? Now you've actually got capital. Maybe you didn't have any capital the first time. Now you've got profits. You want to reinvest those profits, but you haven't spent the time looking for deals and finding deals through that process. And so now you're starting over. So keeping that funnel full is important. And the easiest way to do that, we're going to go over a couple of different ways. Easiest way to do that is through networking. Um, I'd say I source probably 80 to 90% of my deals through networking. And so that's the easiest way to do it, no matter what. You can do that consistently if you put consistent effort into your networking. Um, Today, I'm going to go over a couple of them, but there's definitely a lot more ways to find deals. And I think it's important that in future episodes, we're actually going to dive into the different niches, the wholesaling and the fix and flipping and the rentals and lending and all the different things that different you can kind of go into. And each one of them have a little bit different marketing plan that you take, right? Obviously, you can do anything that you want to do. These are just kind of ideas for my thoughts, but so we'll dive more into how to market when you're a wholesaler, how to market when you're looking for rental properties, and so on. But just feels kind of generalized. What is the best way to do it? Um, Networking, driving dollars, buying from other wholesalers, buying on the MLS, and probably 57 other different ways, right? Some other ideas as well. Um, the first one that I mentioned was networking, and I'd say it's definitely the most important. Um, I've I attend networking events. I run Mountaineeria, which is a networking event. Um, I I co-host Entrepreneur Roundtable weekly. That's absolutely a networking event, right? There's like-minded individuals in that room every single week. Um, and I've seen deals happen at Mountaineeria. I've seen deals get created at Entrepreneur Roundtable. Um, I've made happen at networking groups. So it's a great way to find deals. If you're a wholesaler, bringing your deals to those networking events is great, but it's also just a good way to network with other people. Um, but it's not just formalized type get together networking type situations. Your personal network, your family, your friends, they should all know what you do and what you want to do and what your goals are. And that's a matter of being consistent when you're taught stuff, right? Um, I enjoy talk real estate. It's a passion of mine. Real estate is a passion, so I have no problem having conversations with people about it, and I bring it up constantly. Um, and it's not anything other than it's just something that I enjoy, right? But they actually say that somebody's got to hear something 7 times before they actually comprehend it and get it and remember it. So you may tell a friend or a family member that you're real estate in passing at Thanksgiving or today at Christmas when everybody's opening up presents, or the dinner afterwards. You may be talking to them and mentioning the fact that you want to get into real estate. They may not remember that. They're probably going to have to hear it 7 or 8 times before they even coincide. Oh, Joe's actually looking into real estate, and this person said that they had a house that's vacant. Let me put two and two together. So time, and it takes consistency, and that goes along with just about anything. Um, but also, hey, last night I had a gentleman come to one of my renovations that I have here, a duplex here in Morgantown, and we were getting the heater, the furnace, fired up. And so we brought them out. I said, run in the system, get the pilot light lit, and just to make sure everything's good with it and stuff like that. It's a house that we just purchased, and while we were there, we were talking, and just for the furnace to warm up, and he had a couple of questions about the business and the company and what we do and stuff like that. And so just through conversations, he said, "Man, I got to reach out to you because my mother-in-law actually has a property that's been sitting vacant for a couple of years now, and she just doesn't really know what to do with it." So, do I know if anything's going to come out of that? No, it just happened yesterday. So, but it's something I want to follow up on, right? It could turn in a great property for me to hold for the next 15 years. It could be a wholesale property. It could be something that I could refer to somebody in my network that's an agent for them to list. Could, however I can monetize it, I'll absolutely see if I can do that. Um, Driving for dollars, that's probably the number two best way, in my opinion. When I was starting out, my first wholesale deal that I ever got was from driving for dollars. Some of the best deals that I've ever made have come from driving for dollars. Um, I love it. It's time consuming, but do you have more time or more money, right? That's the question that you ask when you're talking about how to get started and choosing your niche. And what's more important to you now versus what's more important to you in the future. Um, if you've got time, absolutely do it. And it doesn't matter if you're trying to get into wholesaling or if you're working on, building a portfolio. Uh, some investors like to do midterm rentals with what's called nurses, right? So they're going to want to be in neighborhoods that are close to hospitals. Uh, Here in Morgantown, West Virginia, we've got WVU, right? Well, if I want to get into a rental portfolio type situation, I want to buy in and build a portfolio here in Morgantown that caters to um, students at WVU. I want to be in places that are close to the university, that are convenient for my tenants, my students to live, right? Um, so any areas, maybe I only want 8 units or more in my buildings that I want to do. I know if I look at and target neighborhoods that are going to be convenient for students to live in for the university, find houses that are 8 units or above, then those are the ones that I want to target. There probably won't be that many of those properties. So I want to find all of them, and I want to reach out to every single owner, and I want to find out what's going on with them. And at some point, you will find one that wants to sell. It just comes up to consistent follow up at that point. Um, but targeting an area and targeting a neighborhood that really works into what your niche is a highly profitable type of situation. Um, Buying from other wholesalers. And obviously, if you're getting into wholesaling, you're probably not going to be buying from wholesalers, right? But you still want to network with them. Uh, you want to be able to work with them on JVs. You want to be able to help develop buyers lists. I'm all about cooperation and collaboration versus competition. So even if it's doing the exact same strategy that I'm doing in the exact same neighborhood that I'm doing, I want to work with them. I don't want to work against them. Um, so Even as a wholesaler, you're going to want to work with them. You may not be buying from them though. You want to buy from the sellers. But wholesalers they're a lead generation business, right? Their job is to find motivated sellers to buy off market properties for at a discount. That's their job. So they're doing all the work for you. If you're a fix and flipper and you don't want to go on 10 acquisitions calls to find, and make, I don't know, calls a week, or send out 10,000 postcards or whatever it takes in your particular market to generate a deal, if you don't have time or the resources to do that, using wholesalers locally for you is a great resource to buy those properties because they are finding the properties that aren't on the market that are bought at a discount. There's just doing your own due diligence. And you're going to do due diligence with any of these topics, right? Networking and driving for dollars. You're going to run your own numbers and you're going to run your own analysis and you're going to make sure that it works for you and pencils for you. Um, but it's really not to skip that step with a wholesaler. A lot of people, when they're advertising their wholesale deals, they'll talk about this is what the ARV is, this is what the renovation is, this is what the cost of that renovation is. Like their vision for the renovation may be completely different than yours. Their contractor quotes, if they even have any, will probably be different than yours, and their ARV may be different than yours as well, right? It's an opinion. ARV is an opinion because it's an after repair. Um, so obviously, the level of your repairs is going to directly affect the ARV of the property. So um, take it all with a grain of salt, right? You can run some preliminary numbers with their numbers, but do your due diligence and make sure that you're getting what you think you're getting, and it pencils out for you in your portfolio. And then buying on MLS, you can find deals on MLS. My first deal was a flip that was actually on MLS, and my partner at the time um, told me that I was an idiot for looking at that property. Didn't even want to go look at the property. It actually took me 3 weeks to be able to get an appointment for me and my partner to go look at the property because he wouldn't take it serious because it was on the market. We ended up making about $65,000 in net profit on that property. Um, and there were a bunch of surprises along the way too. It was a great deal. It was an awesome deal. The market was hot and the market grew we had evolved, but it was a great deal. And it was found on MLS on realtor.com. So you can absolutely find deals on MLS. You can wholesale deals on MLS. There's legalities that go with that. And again, if I haven't said it, if you guys haven't heard me say it before, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a tax specialist. I'm not um, a lawyer. I'm not a financial expert. Or I'm just a guy, right? I'm a guy with opinions that is out in here talking about my experience. Um, but I do have people on my network that have had success wholesaling properties that are on the MLS. So definitely it's one of those things that you want to check out your local area for, but it's possible. Um, some other ones kind of wrap up here stuff: direct mail, cold calling, stuff like that. Sure, absolutely. Direct mail is great because it doesn't take a lot of work other than answering the phone. Bandit signs is another one that's kind of low cost that you can do. But again, there's work involved with answering the phone and dealing with all the phone calls to go along with it. Um, you can pay per lead. It can get very costly if you don't do it correctly or target it correctly, but it can be very profitable if you do it correctly, um, and that you'll be able to monetize every lead that you possibly can in that scenario. Um, Building a website, Carrot, I'm not by them. They don't even, I'm mentioning them, but Carrot.com, I think it's .com. Anyway, Carrot websites. Um, they have real estate based websites and they have different templates for different strategies that you have if you're a property manager or if you're a fix and flipper or a wholesaler or whatever it is. And they've all got, you know, I've had great success. I've actually set up a Carrot site since I've moved here to West Virginia and already bought 2 houses from the site without doing much as far as search engine. I don't do anything with pay per click or anything like that yet either. So it's really good stuff. But that'll give you a good idea on some of the things that you can kind of get into and how to source your deals. I think what's important is that if you can buy directly from the seller, you're going to save money because you're going to cut out any middlemen. Uh, if it can be to you, you walk in with a level of authority, a level of respectability to where you can probably get a little bit better discount because you're being referred. Um, and then being direct to seller, obviously, you're cutting out anything with commissions and fees and assignments and different things like that. Um, but again, it comes down just like what we talked about in, I think it was episode 2, right? How to get started. What do you have more of, time or money? Some people have a lot of time on their hands but don't have a lot of money in the bank account, right? So maybe one of those options that have a little bit more work involved and a lower cost of entry is going to be the one that's right for you. Um, so it all comes down to your personal niche that you're going to choose and your personal preferences. If you want to do outbound marketing versus inbound marketing, um, like the wet it and forget it type situation for a lot of investors, and stuff will trickle in. Um, it may not be a world beating amount of leads that are coming in, but the leads should be pretty good. So, just food for thought, things to do. I want to leave you guys with a couple of action steps for today as well. First and foremost, guys, bringing value to you guys at all. If you guys enjoy this channel and you think that this information is helpful, if you could like and subscribe, I would be extremely grateful for that. Um, I appreciate it. I appreciate watching. Um, if you guys want to check out Entrepreneur Roundtable, it's a great networking opportunity. It's a public group on Facebook. It's free to join, and we meet once a week, every Tuesday. Um, great, great group there. Talk about business in general. It's all kind of tailored toward real estate, but it's business in general. And this interactive Zoom call, it's really good. It's a good time. I enjoy it. We've been doing it for a little while now. Um, and if you're local here in the Morgantown area or anywhere, in a that you could travel to Morgantown, we meet once a month here in Morgantown. So Lower Mountain Area and on Facebook as well. Find that group, and I think there's a link to that in the description as well. Um, but yeah, uh, come on out and do some networking. Beer, not a beer if beers don't work for you, they work for me. But nonetheless, come on out and enjoy. Have a conversation with myself and people in the group and like-minded individuals all in one room. Works out. Um, if you're not local, join a RIA. Find your closest RIA. Join it. Go find a meeting. Get out there in person. Find an online forum. There's plenty of them out there. I'm not the only guy doing this by far. So find one where you can connect with other investors. Um, Depending on what you're looking to do, if you have an area that you really want to do, or the location specific stuff is something that's going to work for you, um, map out an area and do some driving for dollars. I've actually got a pretty good technique for taking a list and developing a driving for dollars list out of there to where you drive with a purpose instead of driving aimlessly. Um, and absolutely, it works. So outside of that, the description as well, there's a link for a 30-minute one-on-one with me. Feel free to click that and schedule out a meeting. It's 100% free for 30 minutes. I'll sit down with you, talk about your goals, talk about what you've been doing, and see if I can bring value to you in any way. Um, so it's just kind of my way of giving back. I appreciate you guys today. And until next time, remember, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door.